So there's a theory going around that the main character, Dancer, is taking illicit drugs, specifically LSDs. So I'm going to be giving my stance on Last Dance, as to why this might not be the case. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy the breakdown, so more people can find it. The first reason is that Dancer appears to be in a hospital setting, and there's a doctor office, wheelchair, IV bag, and even a patient taking a huge number of pills. LSDs are considered to be drugs with no medicinal property, and would therefore not be allowed to be taken in hospital. So what could Dancer be taking instead, if he is taking a drug? Dancer might be prescribed antidepressants, or something else that's changing his mood. I say mood because on my previous video on Outsider, the colours are seen as a metaphor for emotions. The colour is seen extracted from the zingais, which, according to Eve's manga Kara no Kyoku, zingais are formed from human emotions. Seeing Dancer lick the colour, like in Outsider, shows a stronger connection between the music videos. This also isn't the first time Outsider overlaps with Last Dance, but more on that later. The other reason LSDs don't hold up is because drug misuse is a huge taboo in Japanese culture, to the point that Japanese media don't display those kinds of behaviour, with alcohol and tobacco being the exception. To associate Dancer with drug misuse isn't entirely out of the question, but it would make the character less favourable. But why is Dancer in hospital to begin with? I mean, the man's quite literally tripping. It's most likely to do with the problems in his legs, as when we see them fall apart, Sensei is catching him, suggesting that Dancer is trying to rehabilitate his legs. This explains why the wheelchair from the start might be empty, as Dancer is already working on his legs. This turns Dancer's world upside down, as everything he wanted to achieve was taken away from him, suggesting that Dancer had a career in performing. His opening line about the skyscrapers in Roppongi being overgrown may come from a distaste of workplace culture. He describes those people as greedy, egotistical, and deceitful with sophisticated or work-related words. They could be the very people who might have overworked Dancer's legs, causing them to go into a panic. The phrase "yes man" is associated with workers who don't oppose their boss, as they would rather be comfortable than get into trouble. Last Dance describes these workers as patients, fitting for a hospital setting, which emphasizes that Dancer might have been a worker. Dancer doesn't seem to be the only patient. There were other characters from previous music videos. However, one of the patient's record is scribbled out. But who, you may be wondering? Some say is Demon Dance Tokyo Boy, as the patient record says 1, and he is the first character to have been a part of Eve's universe. He also makes an appearance in Literary Nonsense, and calls himself the Disappearing Boy. There's also the connection that the opening location is the same as Last Dance, and Idagon makes an appearance in both music videos. I would argue that the overlapping location and characters isn't unique here. Tokyo Ghetto Boy might actually be the mysterious patient. Why is that? Well, if you notice the order in which the paper falls, it is Bunchan from Literary Nonsense, Kurukuru from Dramaturgy, Platoon from Outsider, followed by the mysterious character, then Dancer. You can also find this order if you see the upload date of each of the songs. So it makes sense that Tokyo Ghetto Boy might be the mysterious character, as Tokyo Ghetto is Eve's main song between Outsider and Last Dance. Platoon and Kurukuru also makes an appearance in Tokyo Ghetto, and as we know, it doesn't end well for Tokyo Ghetto Boy, which is probably why his record is scribbled out. Even though he died, he made another appearance in a music video, How to Devour Life. This shows Tokyo Ghetto Boy is a very important character. How to Devour Life is also related to the manga, which includes the papers, and maybe in the future we'll know who the mysterious patient is. We understand from the manga that people can produce zingais from their emotions, but which zingai in Last Dance belongs to Dancer? A few people would guess Sensei would be Dancer's zingai, as he helps Dancer get back up. However, Eve's tweet suggests otherwise, showing Dorothy behind Dancer. Other characters have their zingai behind them as well, suggesting that Dorothy might be Dancer's zingai. The girl Mika is most likely a human and seems to be visiting Dancer. Japanese can be written in a way that shows the speaker is male or female, and the verses in Last Dance changes between male and female, suggesting Mika and Dancer are having a conversation or talking between the verses. It's possible that Mika is Dancer's dancing partner, as they both share the same movements and positions as each other. Mika says, "Someday won't you dance with me like this again?" which, from the title of the song, is a no. This is emphasized when Dancer says farewell to the version of himself that he cannot get back. He even talks about people wearing a mask and lying, which causes them to lose themselves. While Mika is wearing a mask, this might also be a reference to Kurukuru in dramaturgy, whose real face gets ripped off at the end of the song. Dancer is doing the same thing, as there are two versions of him in the song. One of them is normal, where he is fine, and another version of him, which is this basic looking guy. He sheds off his exterior when the transparent version of him is dyed black with emotions. And again, we hear Eve's singing become static. Mika can tell Dancer is not doing well. "Though I can't fully understand right now, you seem happy. But it hurts. It hurts because I know everything. Won't you at least melt your frozen lies for me?" In which Dancer suggests they discuss the truth until their tongues go dry. Dramaturgy isn't the only song to have been referenced in Last Dance though. There are other clips from previous music videos, and the lyrics, "If we become idiots and danced in mid-air," is a line from Literary Nonsense, which means that avoiding problems and not facing it makes you an idiot. The following lines from Outsider, "We've already been broken," shows Dancer and Mika are beyond repair. Even if they are quite literally dancing in mid-air, the damage is already done. In the end, they become nothing more than just stories. The book closes, and it appears Hitotsume is handing the book over to someone. It could be Dancer or another character. Although the book looks familiar, like the one in Literary Nonsense that he gave to Bunchan. I say gave, but he literally split his head open. And this isn't the first time Hitotsume popped up at the end. He also had a minor appearance in Outsider and Tokyo Ghetto, which are a lot more colourful than Literary Nonsense or dramaturgy. Some people say it's a reflection of how the characters view the world. From Literary Nonsense black and white music video to Last Dance being fully coloured, as Last Dance views are more nuanced. This could be emphasised by the colours travelling upward as opposed to downwards in Outsider. This could mean that Dancer's emotions are more mature than Platoon's. Platoon is a little more aggressive about lifting burdens and continuing anyway, while Dancer acknowledges other people's difficulties and limitations. And if you ever get to the point where it seems hopeless to get back up, just remember, sometimes you're supposed to fall over. Gather the strength to get back up again.